In the movie The Prestige, there's a scene where a famous Chinese magician performs his well-known jaw-dropping trick of making a fishbowl with a living goldfish appear on a table out of thin air. It was an older gentleman, often crouched over from perhaps a bad back, and he walked with a very severe limp. But his trick was outstanding. What his audience didn't know is that in order to execute this trick, the man made a huge sacrifice that changed his entire life: the limp. He walked with a waddling limp all the time, every day, everywhere, in order to protect the true power behind this amazing trick. Before it was time to make the fish appear, the man hid the fishbowl between his legs and used his limp to get onto the stage. To keep his cover, he kept up the limp even when he was off stage so that no one could detect it. What the world saw as his weakness, he knew was his strength. Right before one of the epic battle scenes in Marvel's Avengers, Captain America looks at the Hulk, who's in the form of a man at the time, and tells him, "Now might be a pretty good time for you to get angry." And the Hulk replies, "I'm always angry." So, why did I tell you these stories? Well, I wanted to capture a thought from these two examples. The secret to both of these men's strength, whether on a platform or in a battlefield, was that they stayed on guard. According to the Webster's Dictionary, the term on guard refers to the assignment or duty of protecting or defending something. A guard is characterized by their readiness, their watchfulness, and their willingness to defend their assignment when necessary. They are trained to prepare for any contingency, an unpredictable event or circumstance. In Nehemiah chapter 4, just to give a quick summary, Nehemiah is working as King Artaxerxes' cupbearer in the fortress of Susa. A friend from home comes to visit him and tells Nehemiah that things in the city of Jerusalem have gone awry. The gate that used to protect the city has been completely destroyed. Along with the surrounding wall, it's burned to the ground. Nehemiah is heartbroken. He prays to God about it, he fasts, he talks to his boss about getting all of his vacation days so that he can go home and help to rebuild the city of his ancestors. God's favor shows up, and his boss not only gives him enough time off, he sends him with letters to the high-powered leaders to grant him safe passage through all of their cities, and he even loads him up with some supplies. So Nehemiah travels from Susa to Jerusalem, which is the equivalent to Florida to Oklahoma. Once he arrives, he evaluates the damage. There's a lot. And then he reaches out to the Jewish leaders to pull some workers to come together and rebuild this wall. But in Nehemiah chapter 4, these guys, Sanballat, Tobiah, a group of Ammonites, Arabs, Ashdodites, they heard about this project and hated it. They also came together hoping to fight against Jerusalem and throw them into confusion so that they couldn't rebuild a thing. This caused Nehemiah and his men to have to stay on guard. That's where this story continues. So here's the mess. These men had people seeking to destroy their plan, their progress, and their peace. Their enemy's tactic was to belittle their efforts, confuse their goals, and even act in violence. But here's the message. They had to stay on guard as they finished the work before them. But how? In short, they prayed, they prepared, and they persisted. In the stories to come, I'd like to unpack these three spiritual weapons that every believer has access to and power through. No matter your occupation, if you're a follower of Jesus, you've been called to rebuild the kingdom of God on the earth. He's placed in you passions to pursue, visions to cast, businesses to start, nonprofits to build, books and songs to write, marriages to protect, lives to restore, and regions to rebuild. But there's an enemy seeking to belittle your efforts, confuse the goal, and influence a culture of violence. And he often uses people to do it. It's time to stay on guard.